bonny blue flag it bears a single star. Hurrah! Hurrah! Up 1,000 right, hurrah! We rally around the bonny blue flag it bears a single star.
The Hawker Hurricane was a British monoplane fighter aircraft that first flew in November 1935. It was Sidney Cam's next major project after the Hawker Fury, and its RAF introduction was in 1937. It was produced in 4 main variants, with the 5th planned, of which only 3 were built, with production ceasing in 1944. It saw combat in many theatres of the war. It fought against the Luftwaffe in the Battle of France, including the defence of the Dunkirk beaches. It defended the British Isles in the Battle of Britain. It was tropicalised and saw action over Africa, the Far East and Malta, and even fought in Soviet service as part of the Allied Lend-Lease programme. Despite being overshadowed by the more famous Spitfire for most of the war, the Hurricane proved to be the more versatile aircraft, and became effective in the role of ground attack. The Spitfire was seen as the definitive British aircraft, especially during the Battle of Britain, but the more numerous Hurricane bore the brunt of the German assaults over England in 1940. 55% of German aircraft losses were credited to Hurricanes, while 42% were credited to Spitfires. The Hurricane was reportedly simple to fly and easy to control, but initially the aircraft had poor spin recovery characteristics, until the bottom of the rudder was extended, allowing rudder authority to remain even in a spin. The initial production version, the Mark I, saw combat in France and Britain alongside the Spitfire. Compared to the Spitfire, it was heavier, but tougher and more reliable. In the Battle of Britain, the more lightweight agile Spitfire was usually tasked with engaging the Luftwaffe's fighters, while the Hurricanes attacked the bombers. The Hurricane, much like other Merlin-powered aircraft, suffered from engine cutout and negative G manoeuvres. If the nose was forced down, the fuel would rise upwards and would stop feeding into the engine, cutting power. This problem was not fully resolved until 1943, but stopgap measures were introduced in early 1941. While slower than the Spitfire and Bf-109, the Hurricane could turn inside both. It also had an impressive rate of roll, allowing it to escape from pursuing 109s with tactics such as scissors or corkscrews. The only Victoria Cross awarded to a member of Fighter Command, Britain's highest military honour, was awarded to Hurricane pilot Eric Nicholson of 249 Squadron in August 1940. Badly wounded and inside a burning cockpit, Nicholson remained inside his aircraft to continue engaging the enemy. By 1944, it was largely relegated to second-line tasks, as the Typhoon, and later the Tempest, replaced it in the ground attack role. It proved to be a versatile, adaptable and reliable aircraft that was well liked by pilots. Today, 43 original examples remain out of 14,500 built, 12 of which are airworthy. Airworthy examples exist in Canada, France, the United States and the United Kingdom. One example is stored 13 miles away from where I live, a Mark IV, formerly operated by the Israeli Defense Force. The last Hurricane ever built, a Mark IIC, serial number PZ865, is flying today as part of the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. In War Thunder, 2 variants are represented, the Hurricane Mark I and the Mark IIA. The Mark I is powered by a 1,030 horsepower Rolls-Royce Merlin II, and is armed with 8 7.7mm Browning light machine guns, with 350 rounds per gun. It has a battle rating of 1.7. In my opinion, it's one of the best aircraft of this tier. While the machine guns lack the explosive punch of the Lag 3's 20mm cannon, the weight of fire can cripple enemy planes quickly, and the chance of starting a fire is high. Ammunition is expended quickly though. It flies well, with an impressive turning radius and roll rate. Acceleration is quite good, but top speed is mediocre. It performs well in a dive, but the controls will begin to lock up above 500 km an hour. The Hurricane Mark II is armed with 12 Browning machine guns, an extra 2 in each wing, each with 350 rounds per gun. The engine is more powerful, a Merlin 20, which produces 1,185 horsepower. There is an option to mount 3-inch RP-3 air-to-ground rockets, powerful projectiles which can destroy virtually any ground target, although they can be used to devastating effect against aircraft with well-placed launch. Despite the increase in power with the Mark II, the extra weight of the 4 added machine guns and their ammunition slightly offsets the more powerful engine, but not notably so. Top speed, rate of climb and acceleration are improved over the Mark I, but this comes at the cost of a higher battle rating, 2.3, and a rise from Tier 1 to Tier 2. This means you're far more likely to encounter Bf-109Es and A6M20s, both of which are serious threats, It is for this reason I prefer to fly the Mark I in realistic battles, as the matchmaking is kinder, and the aircraft seems to be more agile. In arcade, the addition of rockets and extra machine guns on the Mark II is a welcome bonus, although rockets are more of a hindrance than a help in realistic battles, as the negative effect on performance is far more noticeable. The Hurricane tends to lose a lot of speed in maneuvers, but at low speeds it turns very well, although losing too much speed will leave you vulnerable. Initial acceleration when taking off is poor, but takeoff speed is very low, around 110 km per hour. Overall, the Hurricane is a capable turn fighter. It's reliable and easy to fly, but not particularly fast, and Russian and German planes will often outrun it. In the right hands it can beat any of its competition, but even newer pilots will find it easy to handle. It's an ideal plane with which to make the transition from reserve planes to fully fledged Tier 1 monoplanes. I rate it 7 out of 10 for realistic battles, and 7.5 for arcade battles. Its firepower is impressive, but your ammunition won't last long if you don't conserve it. All in all, a good plane. I recommend it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.